One similarity between the homepage template and these entry view templates is that they both use the same header markup, like right here, Channel University and the navigation. And they also both use this same footer here. In fact, all the templates on the site use that. So to me, that means that's something that we really only need to have in a single template or somewhere or somehow so we can reuse that. That way we only have to manage this navigation or any changes in one spot. So let's set up our templates so that we're reusing the header and footer and all of that shared markup and just have it stored in a single template. And we're going to do that using layouts in Expression Engine. So layouts in Expression Engine are an easy way to share common markup and layouts across multiple templates. So you can think of layouts as like wrapper templates. They tend to be the sort of surrounding markup that is around the main content area, the part that changes on every page or every template. You can think of it as the wrapper that's around that. It's the common stuff that is on every page. It's the main content that doesn't change page to page. And it's what we really should be setting up to be reusable. So we're going to use a layout template. So let's review how these work. So a layout template is created just as a normal template, except it has a few things. First, in our templates that we want to use a layout template, we have to specify a layout like this. So layout equals, and then the template group and the template name of the layout that we want to use. So this code right here, this one line, will go at the top of whichever template you want to wrap with this specified layout template. And one important rule is that this tag always has to be the first tag in the template. Expression Engine needs to know that it's using this layout first, so it can go fetch that layout, render it, and then inject your actual layout and its content inside of it. So how does it know where to inject it? Well, in your layout template itself, you use this special tag called layout contents. And this is, wherever you put this, is where Expression Engine will inject the actual template specific code and content. So we put this tag in the layout template where you want Expression Engine to inject that page content. So let's implement this on our site to see how it works. This will help us. It's always easier to understand it when we use an actual example instead of just talking about it. Talking never gets anything done. All right, so I am on my homepage. We'll start on the homepage. And I know that all of this markup here, right here, is all going to be reused. So we need a place to put it. And that's a template. So let's create that in the control panel. So I'm in my template manager, and I'm going to create a shared template. I want to create a template group to hold my layout. I'm going to call this _shared. I don't want to duplicate it, and I don't want this to be the default. Inside of my template group, I now have this index template. I can't delete this. We're also not going to use it, so we'll just leave it there. But I want to create a new template for the core HTML layout, which is that header and the footer. This is like the common wrapper that every page has. I'm going to call it _HTML-layout. This underscore means that this template will not be publicly accessible from the browser. And I do that because I don't want anyone to be able to render this template on its own. And to me, it also is a nice visual indicator that this is a shared template. So type is HTML, and we don't want to duplicate anything, and we want to save the template. All right, let's go into our code editor. So in here, let's open up our sidebar here, and look, here's our shared group. There's our HTML layout template. So we need to populate it with some stuff. I got just the stuff here. I'm going to go and grab everything from here. So this is everything basically the masthead at the top of the site, all the way up to the opening HTML tag and including the doc type. I'm going to remove that and go over to my new layout template and paste that in. Give a couple spaces and go back to my home page. Scroll down to the bottom. Here's our closing HTML tag. We're going to grab that plus the footer right here. Yep, plus the additional, which is the sidebar. We're going to remove those. We'll leave that, save it, and then in our layout, we'll paste in the rest like that. Now here, this is basically the empty spot. If I just loaded this template, if I could, if it wasn't a hidden template, it would just have like the header and the footer and nothing in between. Now, this is where I want to put layout contents. And this is with an S, and this is the place where Expression Engine will inject that markup that is in, for example, our homepage. All of this here, this div, ID of content, all the way down to here, this will all now get placed here in between the heading content and the footer. All right, so we have that. Now on our homepage, we have to now specify which layout to use here because now Expression Engine doesn't know. So we use that layout tag we looked at earlier. And here we do shared / HTML layout like that and save it. So now when we render the home page, Expression Engine will say, oh, this is using a layout. All right, which one? Shared template group, this template. Let me render that. All right, I rendered that, or rendering, and I see all this. Oh, layout contents. This is where I need to inject the rest of this here after I render it dynamically by pulling in all the proper entries, and then the rest of it just works. So let's look in our browser to see if we broke anything. All right, so let's go here, and I did the home page, so this one won't work. And let's reload it, and look at that. Everything looks just like it should. We have our footer and our header and our content, and we can click through and it's all working, except now on the home page, we're using the layouts. Let's go ahead and implement this for our other templates as well. Well, the other one we have is the entry view. So we don't need to create anything new. We just need to edit our entry view template so it looks similar to the home page. So back in our code, for the news group, let's go to view right here. Let's get this out of the way. There we go. So again, we have this doc type all the way too far, all the way down to the end of this div here. We'll replace that with our layout tag. And remember, it's shared and then HTML layout. All right, I'm going to soft wrap this so it's easier to see when I have it all big like this. So that's all good. And now I just need to remove the footer stuff here in the sidebar. We'll deal with the sidebar a little bit later. Let's get rid of that. Otherwise, it'll just be doubled. So now we just have the core stuff that's different about this template versus other templates on the site is right here. So we're specifying our layout. Remember, it has to be the first thing, the first tag on the page, underscore shared for the template group, and underscore HTML-layout for the template. Let's check our work. We can click through. Oh, looks like we broke something. All right, so it looks like styling is missing. So I suspect that this is going to be because the home page template had different paths, or it was actually missing the leading slash. So looking in my code under HTML layout, yeah, you can see where it just has this relative here. That's not going to work when we're further down the URL. So we'll update that and just make sure that everything has an absolute path here so it is pulled in properly. I think that should work. Let's try now. Reload. Ah, there we go. And we have it all working again. And now this entry view template is using our layout. So layouts are really cool, and we've only created one layout because that's really all we need for this site, but you can have multiple layouts in a single site. And you'll probably want to use them where you find yourself repeating the same wrapper markup over and over. Like maybe different sections of your site. Let's say maybe the news section has like another wrapper or another thing that's common about it through all the templates, where the about section doesn't. Or maybe there's like a color scheme for each of the different sections or slightly different layouts for each of the different sections. Create layout templates for those too. And that way your markup that's used or any other code that's used on every single template or a large bunch of templates, you can have that in one place so you only have to edit it one time when you're making changes. So layout templates in Expression Engine are super cool. I definitely encourage you to use them at least in the very basic way that we've used them for the Channel University website.